Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mrs. Cford Vlogs. So I wanted to do a quick game that you can use if you have a deck of cards, or if you don't have a deck of cards, we can adapt it using the free tool Wheel of Names. So let's see how to play Suit Scenario. All right, for Suit Scenario, there's a couple things. You can do it on a piece of paper. You don't need anything digital, okay? And you can use a deck of cards. So you can have a template where you just make it look like that. Notice I've just drawn boxes the size of a little bit bigger than sticky notes, and then put the card suits next to them. Oh, wrong way. Card suits next to them. All right, so this is a good template. This can be hanging up on your board, on a wall, whatever. It can be tacked to a bulletin board. It can be put in a file cabinet and pulled out when you need it. Okay, so this is your template. Or if you prefer digital, I've made one using Jamboard, and I have that in the description. The link to that is in the description for this video. You can also use, if you don't have a deck of cards, or you are in a pinch one day and you're like, oh, my deck of cards isn't here, I normally would have one. That's okay too, because Wheel of Names is a free digital tool. If you've never used it, it's going to be perfect for this as well. Okay, so really basically what we're doing is we're just using this to provide a little game mechanic in there, because we're not going to know what's going to come up. It's that chance element. And for some reason, right, we all kind of respond to that idea of what are we going to pull? What will it be? And this is really nice because you can put it for any content, you can put it for any grade level. You just have to make it for whatever you're studying. It can even be a review of multiple subjects. So if you're in a self-contained classroom, or if you're content specific, it doesn't matter. All right, so I'm basically going to take a sticky note and I'm going to put it on each suit. And if you can see that I've got figurative language terms on here too. So I had alliteration, metaphor, simile, and onomatopoeia. Now, essentially what happens is I can do a couple things. I can take a deck of cards and I can have my students pull them, or I can pull them. And whatever suit comes up with that card that I pull, that's what I'm going to look to. So in this case, let's say I pulled a diamond and that word is alliteration. So then my students are going to have to come up with an example of alliteration. Now this can be with something you're working on. This could be in a group, a pair. It could be individual, whatever you want it to be. Okay, so those are going to be able to just kind of continue rapid fire even. That could be what you spend 3-4 minutes working on, beginning of class, end of class, a little brain break in the middle of class where they're doing an activity like this. But you can also adapt it for other contents, like I said. And it's just as simple as what word you want to put on there. So let's say I wanted to do more of a math element. I can have my operations. It's kind of hard to see there. But if I have subtract, divide, multiply, add, or I could make it more complicated and I could have how many digits I might need, or sometimes it's hard to do that in talk, right? Multitasking is not always easy for me. But in this case, I put all the operations on here. So once again, you can see what that looks like. Now, for something like this, I might go ahead and pull a card to see what suit it is. So if it was a heart, then that matches with subtract. And so I might say, I already have some numbers on the board. I want them to subtract. Or I might take my dice now and I might roll my dice. Maybe I want to work with 3-digit numbers. So I roll 3 dice, put those together, and now I've got my 3-digit number. Roll those 3 dice again, come up with my next 3-digit number, and they have to perform that operation. So in this case, subtracting. All right. Again, can be done individually, in pairs, even as a whole group. So it's up to you to decide. But it lets you customize what you're practicing on, and it gives that chance element. You can amp it up just a little bit, and you can also add a time limit to it if you wanted. So you can tell them, okay, you've got a minute to do this. Maybe you've got 2 minutes, whatever it is. But it's a super easy way to build some engagement within your content. Now, if you're going to use Wheel of Names because you don't have a deck of cards, you still are going to need this template, okay, either here or on Jamboard. And you're going to need to have those sticky notes ready to say what they're going to do. And then you're just going to, I'm including also in the description for this video, the link to my Wheel of Names that already has the suit on it. So you would just spin it, whatever it lands on, that would then correlate with your template. So instead of pulling a card, you're just spinning the Wheel of Names. All right, super simple. Easy to integrate into your classroom, easy for your students to learn, easy for you to set up. So if you're just looking all of a sudden one morning for some activity, you're looking at your lessons and thinking, I could amp this up a little bit. There you go. You don't need much preparation for it. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you next time on Mrs. Cford Vlogs.